Hello everybody, welcome back to Richie Mahjong, but not Mahjong Soul today, haha. I'm about to demote back down to the gold room. I haven't actually demoted yet, but I'm not playing, I'm taking a bit of a break from playing actual games, and I'll get this backlog of videos out the door, but I still want to study. So we're doing this. 50 Shades of Mahjong. What would you do's for pre-intermediate players by Crabman, whoever that is. But thank you so much for putting this together. You can find this just by googling this. Right. Pre-intermediate. Fenton, surely you're not pre-intermediate. Surely you're at least post pre-intermediate. You may be right. This is what we're going to find out today, basically, folks. We're going to do these quizzes. We're going to do some of these questions, as many as we can do in maybe half an hour, 45 minutes, and see exactly what's going on. Maybe I know nothing. Maybe I need to go back to the drawing board. Hang on, I'm going to sneeze. Hang on. No, I didn't sneeze, obviously. You press the start recording button in OBS when that makes you sneeze, or at least makes you think you're going to sneeze. What is a what would you do? Good question. It's very simple. Forgive the two-page layout, it will become more obvious as we scroll down. It gives you a simple Mahjong hand question. Maybe we could even zoom in a little bit, actually. That's probably fine. It gives you a simple Mahjong hand question and asks, what would you do? This is question 1. What would you do? It's your turn. This is your hand, and this is what you've drawn here. So what do we got? I mean, we probably want to keep this pair, right? This is a nice double-sided shape. We got this 4, 5, 6 Ipeku kind of thing going on here, but at least it's a double-sided way. And then we've got this, which can probably be our pair. This, we could transition this to our pair. This pair of eight characters. So I'd probably think about cutting this 8-9 shape, personally. I'd probably send this to the bin. Wouldn't you say? If we pawn the red dragon, then... If we pawn the red dragon and throw this, then we're in tempi for the 7 of circles, but it's not very good. Whereas if we throw this 9 first... Whoops. If we throw this 9 of throw the 8 of circles first, and then pawn the red dragon, then we can throw. I mean, maybe that's a bit slow. Maybe it's a bit too slow. It's definitely either the 7-8. It's either this or this. It might even be one of the 8 of characters. You know. It might even be one of these 8 of characters. No, that can't be true, because then you wouldn't have a pair. I mean, you got lots of pairs here. Personally, I would do this, right? In the 20 seconds I had in a real game of Mahjong Soul, I would look at getting rid of this horrible Penchan weight, right? That's what I would do. And then here we go. Here's the answer. So I'm not going to look at this, but here's the answer. So then we'll read the answer, and then while we look at this, if you want to read the answer more. You want to open this hand with Chun. That's the red dragon, folks. Your hand has 6 blocks. Yep. You should maximize efficiency and discard the weakest block. In this case, it is the Penchan, since all your other blocks are Rhinemen. That's the easy part. There we go. It's very important to start with 9p, because drawing 8p gives you a chance for Tanyao Pinfu. Gives you a chance for Tanyao Pinfu, I suppose. If this never happens for you, if the red dragon never happens for you. Okay, so that's interesting. So this explains why sometimes we think, oh, we'll throw the more dangerous tile first, the 8, and it ends up being wrong. Maka's like, no, what are you doing? But I suppose because it's a 6, 8, 9, kind of, with this... Anyway, we'll give ourselves a tick for that one, shall we? I'm using Edge. I'm using the Edge browser, by the way. The Edge browser has this nice built-in draw-on PDF thing, which Chrome tells me it has. Ostensibly, it tells me it has it, but God knows if I could get it to work. Anyway, alright. Question 2, what do we got here? Oh my goodness, this looks irritating, doesn't it? Well, we're obviously never touching this 5, 6, 7 block. Obviously, that 100% has to stay. We've got this weird thing going on over here, which accepts the 5 and the 7, and then we've got a 5, 6, 7 here, kind of, or maybe a 6, 7, 8 with a pair of 5s and a pair of 6s. 7, 8, 9, sorry, with a pair of 5s and a pair of 6s. So we've got 3 pairs. This 9 is completely redundant, right? The 9M, surely the 9M has to go, surely. Wow, okay, alright. So that's wrong. You can divide the hands into blocks like this. Sure. This suggests non-red 5M discard. Well, I was never going to do that. However, you can also divide the blocks like this. Discarding 8M gives you a chance for a Peku. Alright. So never even considered any of this. And this is... You're saying this is my pair. Yeah, okay. So the mistake I've made here is... By throwing this 9 of characters, I do have 2 pairs. But what's the most likely thing to happen here is that I draw either a 4 or another of the 7s. Or I draw a 5 or a 7 here. You know, it's not very likely I draw the 5M or the 6M. You'll have to forgive my handwriting with the mouse. But then that means I don't have a pair. Alright, so that was wrong. So that's a big fat red X. And this is an easy one to remedy here, is because instead of looking at what I shouldn't have done is I shouldn't have looked at these as 2 pairs. I should never have looked at this as a 7, 8, 9 with an extra 9. I should have gone, what's the pair in my hand? Clearly it's this. With a 6, 7, 8 and a 5, 5, 6. But it's also saying that you could look at this. So if this is your pair and these are your double-sided weights here, you don't need this. Yep, alright, fine, fair enough. Okay. Question 3. We should also be paying attention to what the Dora is, right? So in this example, it's the... I think this is the Dora indicator is the 1, so the Dora is the 2. Hang on, let me just quickly get a Google Lens out, just to be sure. This is East 2, and then a whole bunch of other words. Google Lens, let's go. Google Lens, hello? Google Lens doesn't know what's going on either. Google Lens is stupider than me, folks. East second, third turn. I'm the East player. The Dora is the 1. That can't be right. Surely that means the Dora indicator is the 1. Well, we'll see. If we get one wrong because we've misinterpreted what this is, then sure. Okay, alright. We got a nice double-sided weight here. We got a triplet here. This is looking kind of redundant because we've got a kind of pair-like looking thing over here, and then a 3, 5, 6, 8. This is awkward, but you could say this is 2 shapes. But you could also say this is 1 shape and the 3 and the 8 are pretty bad. This one is awkward for sure. The other way of looking at this would be, which is probably not right, but it would be this, and then this, and then this, and then this is a shape, and this is a shape. Which still makes this and this irrelevant, and it makes this irrelevant as well. So like there's not many situations in which the 6 is really doing much for you. If the Dora is the 1 of characters, I guess you'd want to throw the 3 before it gets you into trouble, because drawing a 2 of characters isn't like amazing here, because then you can accept the Dora, but then you've got this 2, 3 and a 5, 6. I'd be tempted to just chuck the 7 here and turn this into... make this my pair. But equally, it might just be that the 6 is just bad regardless. Because you've got enough shapes. It might just be that the 6 is just so redundant to everything that this hand is doing. But I guess I should make a decision. I think if I were in a real game, I would think that this is too nice. You know, this could easily transition into a double-sided weight and a pair. You know, with the 3 of bamboo. So in a real game, I would probably just throw the 6 because it's so loose out of everything that's going on. Wow. Okay, I'm bad. I'm bad? This hand has only 4 blocks. Okay, so you're considering this to be... You're not considering this to be 2 blocks. Three and 8M are floating, 6S is floating, 3 and 8M are redundant, but there's a difference between them. 3M allows you to accept the Dora, which is the 1. Okay, so this does mean that this is the Dora, it's not the Dora indicator, that's good to know. 6S can connect to 5-7 to create a Ryman weight. Yep, 8M is next to Ryman and it doesn't add relevant Ukiri. Okay, so because the 8 is being cannibalized already by this 5-6, this 5-6-8 block is bad then in that case. Okay, so it's the 8. It's the 8M because this is I don't have 5 blocks. So why am I not... So I guess you don't ever really want to count this as 2 blocks. You want to just staple any double-sided weights together and go boom, that's a block. Because what does drawing a 2M or a 7M actually get me here? Sorry, not a 2, a 4. What does a 4M actually get me here? It gets me a 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Which is fine. Okay, alright. Big fat X on that one. I am bad at the game, it turns out. Holy, what's going on here? 5, 6, 7 is obviously never getting touched. There's a loose 5, which is odd. What have we got here? We've got 2, 3, 4... We've got 2, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4. So you could consider this 2 shapes with a double-sided weight here. Which means you could throw this. If you throw the 2, then you're Ishan 10. But the thing with this kind of shape, right, is that you're only finishing a Peku here with the 3, which is a bit sad. It might be more. Whoops! It might be more beneficial to look at this as 3, maybe 3, 4, 5 with a pair of 4s and a pair of 2s. Which is also not great. Which would imply that you would throw this 1. But that can't be right. So... You definitely want to keep this 4-5 alive. This Ipeku is odd, but it's not the worst. If you threw the 2, all you would need to draw into is either a 3, a 4, a 6, or a 7 of characters, and then you could be... You would be Ishan 10 for Ipeku Dora 1, which is not great, you know? Is there a 1 away here? Like, is the question? Like, it's still early, right? It's still only turn 4. I can't see an issue with doing this. What does a 3 of circles get you? Gets you a 1, 2, 3 shape. You would then... This would be then irrelevant. And you would have a pair of 2s, a 3, 4, 5, a pair of 4s, and... I'd probably throw the 2 here. I probably would throw the 2. And then I would just make a decision on this, depending on what I then drew later. But the point is I could be Ishan 10 on 1 more draw after this. This puts me 2 away, but with a lot of acceptancy, right? Like 16 tiles here for all of the 3s, 4s, 6s, and 7s. And then also I could stay Damaten for a Peku over here if I drew into... If I drew into this, though, then I would maybe have to throw this. But it's too early to throw the red 5. I think it's trying to trick you into thinking the red 5 is too loose, that you should get rid of it now before it gets you into trouble, but there's so much acceptancy here. 2 of circles, 2p, final answer. Yes! First off, make sure to count the 5M as 1 block. I definitely did do that. You want to have 1 block in Manzu, 2 in Pinzu, 2 in Sozu. This block in Sozu is quite flexible. Yeah, there's a lot going on here. The most efficient discard is 4S because it only loses the Ukeri of 1 times 4S. However, that 1 tile makes a huge difference. By keeping the whole block in Sozu, you maintain Ishenten and a chance for Ipeku. Pure efficiency isn't the answer when Yaku are involved. Is that not what I said? Did I say that? I think I said exactly that. I'm going to give myself a big fat tick for that one. Yes! I hope that you're finding this useful, by the way. I know it's not a game of Mahjong, but it's study. And it's sad that I have to incentivize myself to study by recording a YouTube video, but at least I ain't losing ranking points. I'm going to take another bite of my banana. Hang on, while I read this next question. Alright, obviously this is keeping. This 4, 5, 8 is a bit awkward. This 2 is very awkward. 5, 5, 6, 7, 8, 8. 5. So it's a 5. It's either a 5, 6, 7 with a pair here, or a 6, 7, 8. Wait. So 5, 6, 7 with this pair, or 6, 7, 8 with this pair. So I don't think you want to touch any of this. There's too much acceptancy here for various things. So this 2 is looking bad. This 8 is looking bad. This 7 is looking bad. The 8 is really bad, I guess, because a 6, a bamboo, is no help to this shape at all. Whereas at least a 3 of characters is something here, because a 3 of characters is not cannibalizing this 5, 6, 7, 8, 8 thing. I think I'd throw the 8 back here. Same reason you'd keep the 7, right? Is a 6 or an 8 is still quite good. It still gives you a double-sided weight, whereas the 8 is so poor. In a way that the 2 isn't, just about. 8S, final answer. Your hand only has 4 blocks. Sorry, I'm still eating the banana. 6S overlaps, making these Ryman weaker. Yes. Right, now, I know that there's no way for you to know that I haven't just read this entire PDF, memorized it, and then told you the answers. So there is some trust here. There is some trust value here. Cool. Hopefully we'll learn something. Right. Question 6. The door is the green dragon. Good to know. Oh, sorry, I forgot to give myself a big fat tick. 4, 8, 9, 9. That's awkward, isn't it? 3, 4, 4, 7, 7. Oh no, it's 7 pairs. It's not 7 pairs. It's never 7 pairs. We're obviously never touching this. This 2, 2, 3 next to it is a bit awkward. Kind of makes the 4S kind of strange. This 3, 4, 4 could probably stay. This is a good pair. This is a good head candidate here. This is a good candidate for the head, the pair, and then a 4, 8, 9, 9. Oh, this hand sucks. Can I just not play this hand? Can I just fold? 1, 2, 3, 4 pairs as well. I'd be severely tempted to just cut the extremely loose 4 of characters here because it is the loosest tile in my hand, and maybe I could transition into Chitu Itsu. You know, if I drew a 7M, I could cut a 9. If I drew a 2 or a 5 of circles, I could cut a 4. If I drew a 1 or a 4 of bamboo. If I drew a 4 of bamboo, I'm really happy, because then I've got this, what do they call this? 5 wide shape? San, Ment, Chan? I'd cut the 4 here, I think. It is very early though, it is only turn 4. But I don't think you'd want to throw away this shape. If this was just an 8-9, then maybe. But because it's an 8-9-9 and I've got 4 pairs already, I think I'd cut the 4M here personally. This hand has 4 pairs, so you consider Chi-Tzu-Itsu as one of the targets. You're choosing between 4M and 8M. Keeping 4M gives you indirect Yukari 6-block method, but since you already have a pretty good shape, it's better to prioritize the direct Yukari of 7M. Yes! Always be aware of direct and indirect Yukari. Yukari. I don't actually know how to say that word. But it's the tile acceptance count, right? I'm Googling it. I'm Googling it. Tile acceptance that refers to the number of tiles that you could draw to reduce Shanten count, of course. Fair enough. Good. Right, there we go. That's what we thought. Cool. Question 7. How long have we been going? 20 minutes. Right, let's keep it going, folks. 3, 3, 5, 9. Ugh. 9's pretty bad. It's the Dora! The 9's the Dora. 5, 7, 9. 2, 3, 3, 5, 6, 7, 9. Alright, so... Ooh. Ooh. Interesting. It's very tempting to look at this 5, 6, 7 and go, sure. But an 8 of bamboo is actually quite good here, right? Because then it turns this into this and a double and a 5, 6. But that's pretty weak. Turn 3. I don't think you throw the Dora this early. There's such the vaguest hint of 7, 8, 9 Sanshoku going on here as well. Like, so vague. Two pairs, but... honestly, I don't know. Honestly, I'm not quite sure. I'd be very tempted to cut this, but then I would not be surprised if that was wrong, to be honest with you. I'm trying to not look at every question like it's a trick question. I think you just throw this. Because the 8M is fine, but it doesn't, like, solve a lot of problems. The 8P, sorry, is fine. 8S! Oh my god. The 8 of bamboo doesn't really... It is fine, but it doesn't solve as many problems as, like... 6P, 8P, 7M, 8M are all good draws. 6M is a great draw. 4M is a good draw. 1S is a good draw. 4S is a good draw. Surely you'd want to keep all of that. And then so the only backfire here that you'd be annoyed by is the 8S. By doing anything else, you kind of destroy any chance of any of these draws. That's kind of how I think about it, anyway. 9M and 9S, the latter seems easier to connect to, and Itsu may appear tempting. The problem is to get Itsu, you need 3 specific tiles. This plan may easily backfire. Keeping the 9M allows you to get the same value boost with a larger number of tiles. There we go. There we go. Don't over-focus on Yaku when going after value. Keep efficiency on your mind. Is it good or bad that I never once mentioned pure straight? I don't consider pure straight unless I am 2 tiles away from it. Yeah, needing, as this says, needing a 1 and a 4 and an 8, my mind just does not even look at it and go, yeah, that's Itsu. That's an Itsu shape. I just go, nah. No thanks. Cool. Right. Question 8. 6, 7. 6, 7. 6, 7. That's not going anywhere. A 1, 1, 2. A pair of 5s. An 8, 9. A 1, 2, 3 that's not going anywhere. And a 6, 8, which is kind of bad. But it's got to be the 8, 9. It's got to be the 8, 9. There's no... Unless it's a 1. Unless it's the 1p, right? Because because this is going to be this is likely to transition away from your pair. Nah, it's the 8-9. Chuck the 8. It's the 8p. I'm almost certain of it. You've got 6 blocks. It's not hugely likely that this becomes your pair. It's more likely that this becomes your pair and you end up throwing this 2 of circles. You know, these 2 5s will probably transition into something else. This 6-8 and this 6-7. Obviously the 6-7's going nowhere. This 6-8 is more easily improved than this 8-9. It's got to be the 8 of circles. It's got to be. Yeah. The weakest block is the penchant. This means the 8-9 shape, or a 1-2 shape would also be a penchant. Keeping 1-5 champon should be the priority. Why? Doing so enables you to create Rhinemen with a 5p. Yes, I said exactly that. Kanchan 6-8 is stronger than 8-9 because it can upgrade. Yep, said that as well. You also don't actually use the Ukiri of 7p thanks to 5p. Your initial answer may have been 2p, but you'd edge away from Pinfu by discarding it. My initial answer wasn't that. I actually almost convinced myself that that was my answer before realising that the 8-9 is just bad. Cool. A pair of 2s. A 6-8. Sorry, a 7-8. Yeah, 7-8. That's going nowhere. Probably. A pair of 2s, a 7-8, a 3-4, a 6-7-8, a 5-5-6-7. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. Ah. This is exactly the kind of hand that I would just burn all of my time on. I'm very reticent to throw anything around here because currently it's just a 5-6 shape, you know? Like this 5-6-7 is finished with, so it's a double-sided 5-6 weight, which is great. It's a pair of 2s. It's a 7-8. But I need to get rid of something. It's 3-4 blocks fine. 6-7-8 is obviously not going anywhere. I think the answer might just be the 7 and then the 8, so that you guarantee Tanyao. Because obviously this shape is finished, right? If you drew a 9 of circles, you're sending it back. This is your pair. You're not really interested in drawing a 1M and then drawing a 3M afterwards. Like, if you drew a 1M, I'm pretty sure you'd send it back, and then if you drew the 3M right afterwards, you'd be like, that's just the break. Them's just the breaks. But then you do also have 5 blocks here, so it might be... There's no way you throw one of these. There's no way you throw this. Because this 5-6 accepts all of the 4s and 3 copies of the 7, right? 4 copies of the 4 and 3 copies... 3 copies of the 7, because you've got one in your hand already. But you're gaining the value of twice pure double sequence. But, by the same token, keeping the 7-8 is Pinfu, but then you've got all the 6s and all the 9s. But then so you could get you could still get Tanyao. But you're getting Pinfu either way. I think you just take the value, right? I think you take the value. You throw the 7 and then the 8. There is a 6-7. There is 6-7-8 Sanshoku in here as well a little bit. Maybe it is the 6 of bamboo. No, that's so greedy. That's so greedy. 7M, final answer. Pinfu is guaranteed. What else should you consider? You say a Peku, sure, there's a good chance for that. Tanyao should be considered first as it's not luck dependent. How can you secure Tanyao? 7-8 characters. Securing Tanyao and or Pinfu is often superior to chasing fickle Yaku, Ipeku, Itsu, Sanshoku. Itsu. Forgot to add Chi to Itsu in there. Okay, good. Yeah, I mean, it did take us like 5 minutes to work that out, but... Cool. Anyway, question 10. Ipeku shape here, 5, 6, 7 characters. This is 2 shapes. We should make this 2 shapes, because I think this would have been... I think if I'd have made this 6 shapes instead, then I would have maybe seen this a lot quicker. I don't know why I thought this was why I marked this as 1 shape. 2 shapes, a 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, this is interesting. Oh my god, and another 5, 6, 7. Okay, alright, so... Twice pure double sequence is on the table here. But you don't have a pair. You don't have a pair. It's tempting to think about bailing on one of these 5, 6s. Because if you throw, for example, this 5, and then on your next, this is Ishan 10, right? Because you can draw a 4 or a 7 of bamboo, and then you would throw the other part of the shape that you don't need, and then your Nobutan Wei on this. And you could stay Damaten for that, because it's Tanyao. It's Tanyao, 1 Dora, and it's also possibly a red 5. And I think that is why, to metagame ever so slightly, I think that's why this red 5 is here, to make it obvious that it's this 5, 6 and not this 5, 6. So because the issue you've got, right, is you would think, well, this shape is 4 wide, but there's no head in this hand. You could cut the 3. Let's get rid of all of this detritus on the screen. You could cut this 3, and then you've got 5, 6, 7, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 5, 6. But how do you get into Tenpai from this? So with 5, 6, 7, you would have to draw one of the 2 copies of this that are left, or one of the 2 copies of this that were left, because then that would become your pair. So this is 4 tiles, and 4 tiles exactly the same on this side. Whereas with what we said, if you cut this 5, you're in Tenpai with 3 copies of the 3, 3 copies of the 6, 4 copies of the 4, and 4 copies of the 7. Is that correct? So I'm tempted to say it's 5, 6M. Whether I would see that in an actual game is another question entirely. Looks complicated? It is. Kind of. Beginners tend to get lost in shapes like this. No, it was the 3. Oh. Let's break this down. It doesn't help. Yeah, it doesn't help. You need to look for a potential pair. Which block is best for making a pair and a set? Manzu and Sozu, characters and bamboo. You can divide them like this: 5, 5, 6, 6, 7, and 5, 5, 6, 6, 7. Okay. You may be familiar with these combinations. They're called Orion Men. Very flexible when your hand doesn't have a fixed pair. Pinfu become an obvious choice. Which one to cut? 3 or 6? Is there any difference? With some luck, you can get 5, 6, 7 Sanshoku. Key point, it is crucial that you follow the hand shape discard by discard. Choosing wrongly in similar scenarios will cost you a huge number of effective tiles. So it was correct here to trim this 4 wide shape, because I guess, yeah. I don't think I a single time ever mentioned the possibility of drawing an 8 of characters or an 8 of bamboo, which is what I've missed here, because I was so laser focused on these Ipeku shapes. But yes, so that's the miscalculation there, is that you do have pair candidates. You've got plenty of pair candidates here. don't need to do something silly like this, using this 3, 4, 5, 6 as a pair candidate. So you throw the 3, and then you're waiting on a 5, a 6, or an 8 here, and a 5, a 6, or an 8 here. Right? So let's, for example, say you draw the 5 of characters, then you can throw this, because your hand is then 5, 5, 5, 6, 6, 4, 5, 6, 5, 6, 7, 6, 7. Yeah, okay. Alright. Wrong. See me. That's what teachers write. If you don't, that's what teachers write on papers when you do a bad job. See me. Okay. All right. Well, that was 35 minutes, and that was all of chapter 1. So, what was the end? What was the end result there? I'm marking myself. 10 questions. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 out of 10. That's not great, is it? For what should be a pre-intermediate player. But I think that was interesting. I think that was interesting and worth doing. Cool. All right. Chapter 2 is Call Judgment. Oh, that'll be good. That'll be interesting. And I can save this PDF with these annotations on it as well, so that's quite good. Maybe I will actually learn something for a freaking change. Maybe I'm past the point now where just playing more games is going to get me anything at all. And I need to actually open a freaking book for once in my life. Nice. Oh, this can't do it on 2 pages this time because the question... Oh no, the question and answer is still going to be in this format. That's quite good. Okay. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed, please let me know with a like or a comment. And if you want to see more Riichi Mahjong, be sure to subscribe. I'll do my best to put the link for this down in the description. Just the most official link I can find. So yeah. Check it out. Cool. I got Mahjong Soul open in the background, obviously, for the music. But what's interesting is even when this window is my front window, if I go all the way down here, I'm still mousing over the tiles. How strange is that? And apparently you can't draw over 2 pages at once in this. Anyway, should I put this back up? Whoa, yeah, look at that. You remember the logo? Good times, good times. Anyway, I should really end this video. Don't know what I'm talking about anymore. Take it easy. See you next time. Bye-bye.